Were you familiar at all with the story of Dieter Dengler before taking on this role? Had you seen Herzog's documentary at all?
Before taking on the role, yeah, I did. But I read the script first. When I read the script, they weren't offering it to me. It was just a script that was sent in general. Was I interested in any way? I actually was looking at it. I can't remember why. Maybe they were offering Dieter to somebody else or something. But I was looking at it for one of the other roles. Okay. So I watched the documentary. You know, at that point, I met with Werner, and we sat, and you know, we got along well. And then I was off down in Chile. I just was doing nothing down there. And that's when I got an email from Werner saying, what did I think about actually playing Dieter? So then I started looking more into, you know, that character himself. And it's a really great documentary. Yeah. But actually, like an awful lot of Werner's work, I was aware more of Werner than of being particularly familiar with his movies. I knew very much, you know, that Ian Curtis, the Joy Division singer, I knew that was the first time I'd heard of Werner because, you know, the story goes that he had been watching Stroitzek, I think it was, the night that he hanged himself. So I knew of Werner because of that, primarily, which is not the best introduction to somebody. But I'm really not a film buff in any way, so I hadn't actually seen a lot of his movies. So then I started looking more into Werner's work. And so not only did I like the man himself, and he'd been asking me these very curious questions when we first met about what did I think about swimming in snake-infested rivers, what did I think about biting the head off of a snake, you know, it's like, well, am I here like doing an Ozzy Osbourne audition or something? A lot of different
snake biting.
He just kind of wanted to test me, just wanted to see. Essentially, I think just seeing what the what level of discomfort I would be happy with, and I think I'm similar to him like that. That I like not getting too comfortable.
Right, you don't shy away from challenges.
And I don't think that work is always best when you're too comfortable. And so then I started looking more, you know, at Werner's movies and realized this is, as the character of Dieter is a very unique man, that Werner is a very unique man as well.
Well, now you've worked with some great directors. You've worked with Spielberg, Branagh, Malick, Chris Nolan. How has your experience with Werner, has it been a more kind of challenging or rewarding experience? I mean, what I understand is that it's a pretty singular experience in any actor's kind of career is to work with him. He's a very
I think that, you know, with most really extraordinary filmmakers, that they do tend to be very unique, you know, and that's what makes them extraordinary, is they're not following any pattern. They're not you know, trying to fit a mold, and you know, will be very radically different in the way that they work, but it's always different. Werner is that in quite an extreme fashion. You know, he's not somebody who, to my understanding, you know, ever studied film or wished to, had any desire to, who doesn't want to compare himself to any other filmmakers, who just wants to do what he wants to do, and so makes some very unique movies. To him, I think everything has to be a challenge. You know, it's no fun if it's not a challenge. If he's not feeling like he's going to be kind of, you know, ripping bones and tearing muscle, I think to him he's not quite sure that he's really done a day's work, you know. So there's a real feeling of true construction of a movie with all of the sweat and blood and tears that go with that, that makes it a really full, insane at times, but very memorable experience. But you definitely got to be a certain kind of character
That's right.
to be able to enjoy that, and I do very much. But I know that a lot of people couldn't. I mean, there was one point sitting at 5:30 in the morning with Werner, waiting to go to the set, and half the crew has quit because they can't deal with it any longer. So we don't have any cars or anything. We're looking at, well, we can jump on those mopeds. So somebody owns that moped, let's get on the moped and, you know, get to work. Everything was unconventional. And in the middle, on top of that, we're working in Thailand, going through jungle where, you know, seems like nobody else has ever been.
Well, I don't know if you'll ever have another experience quite like that one. You know?
I hope I do.
Yeah.
I truly do hope that I do have that. Yeah.